Hey everybody, this is Reviews and More, back with a quick household item review. This is, I'm going to call it collectively, the TikTok mop, or the webbed mop, or the dust mop, or the TikTok dust mop, because that's basically where I've seen it. They go about $40 on Amazon. There's multiple listings of various brands, but they all have the same functionality. You might see some color variations, but they're all basically the same thing. They all have numerous names, but the price point for them is all around $40. They've been going around social media, so my wife saw it was on TikTok, so she just had to have it, so she picked it up. And you see kind of there how it kind of wiggles around and moves. But the idea behind it is this allows you to mop and move around places that aren't necessarily uniform or flat. So like crown molding, floor molding, around the corners and edges on stairs, that kind of stuff. So imagine like the fabric going across those two fingers on there, kind of like webbed fingers, works kind of like that. So that's what we're dealing with here. As always, if you find the review helpful, please hit the like and subscribe button, as it really helps out the channel. Alright, so let's talk about what comes with this thing. Obviously, it has the pole itself, the actual mop head, and it comes with 3 separate mop pads. Each mop pad has a kind of like an abrasive portion as well as a soft absorbent portion, so it can be used for mopping, scrubbing floors without causing any real damage. Right here you see kind of how it disassembles. Real fast, we're going to go through the entire process of taking it apart and putting it together. In particular, we're going to deal with the portion that involves actually getting the pad off, since that is the only one that's not just screwing in a pole into a slot. So you see there, you just kind of pop the corners off, and the hardest part is the center portion right here. The mop that I got was from a brand called Eco-U, and the entire set of instructions was all in Japanese. So this was the part that didn't quite make sense with the pictures. So if you look right there in the center, you'll see what looks like 2 like tabs. That is a key. It's like what you do is you squeeze down those 2 edges, and when you do that, and you see here me messing up because I can't quite figure out based on the instructions I'm looking at how to get this to operate, but you got to pinch down on that tab, and then it slides out like a key. And then there's a little loop on the fabric that holds it in place. Now, that also points out one big flaw here is that key can fall out, which means if you lose that key, you no longer really have a functioning mop, because it's not going to hold tight anymore the same way it used to. So you see me there kind of squeezing it down, and once you do that, you can kind of slide it on out, and then the fabric comes loose, and you can take it out, throw it in the washing machine, throw it away, whatever you got to do with it. Putting it back in is a pain in the butt, I will say that. It's kind of annoying, so just be aware of that as you go through it. And it's easier to do when you're not trying to film it at the same time. Once you get it on a flat surface, it's pretty self-explanatory. The loop kind of pops in, and it only goes in one way. But other than that, that's the only difficult thing with this. And as long as you don't lose a little key right there, you see me shoving in right there, as long as you don't lose that, you will have a functional mop. If you do lose it, it's gone. So that's basically probably the biggest flaw. Here you're going to see me actually do it properly, just kind of showing you my flaws here, but that's all it really takes. Just get the thing on a flat surface. I would fold over the fabric portion. It's at a kind of an angle for some reason. I assume that's just to make it lock in place better, but who the heck knows. Again, all the instructions were in Japanese, so I'm just kind of trying to follow the picture, looking at the picture book, trying to figure out how to do it. And there you see I just slid it in. So that's kind of how we get it done. And from this point on, it's easy peasy. You just got to put the fabric loops around the pegs on the little, I'm going to call them fingers, but they're like the little attachments that fold. And from there, you'll be good to go. And you see me kind of pulling it out and putting it back in again. Now, once you get that done, you just got to put the corner loops around the corner fingers, I'm going to call them, or corner digits, or corner arms, however you want to refer to it, and just make sure they're slid on properly. You usually got to bend down the little appendages there to get them where they got to be, and once you have all 4 in there, it's good to go. So it shouldn't take that long. Obviously, the first time I did it took forever because I was trying to figure out how to do it based on all Japanese instructions, but other than that, it worked out great. So just speed this up, run through real fast. Overall, I'm happy with the product. However, I will say this: if you already have a Swiffer, you don't need to get it. If you have a Swiffer mop or something similar, unless you have some deep-seated need to only ever use the webbing portion, which you're going to see me use right here on our crown molding, there's really not a whole lot of extra function you're going to get out of this, and it's not going to give you the ability to scrub in those very hard to reach places, because you're still kind of limited with torque and how tall you are. So if you're not very tall and you're trying to do this and get some real torque and scrub with it, you're not going to have nearly as much success as you might just with a ladder and a rag. But there you see the webbing kind of going around that crown molding. I was not worried about scratching paint because it's very, very soft felt on there. Soft like microfiber on there. And it works functionally. Is it anything to write home about? No. Is it worth $40 if it's like a gift, or if it's just you buying a dust mop because you don't have a Swiffer? Yeah. Is it great for doing like in between kind of polishing mops? Absolutely, it's good for that. But if you already have a Swiffer, I don't think there's much function in you getting this extra. I think this is more just a TikTok social media gimmick that's kind of popped up and been going around. Other than that, guys, that's kind of my opinion on it. If you got one, don't buy this one. If you don't have one, go ahead and pick it up. It's $40. It gets you 3 replaceable heads. You'll have to make your own Swiffer wet jet cleaner, which is just Pine Sol and a little bit of water and a spray bottle. But other than that, there's really nothing to write home about. It's the one gimmicky thing about it is you can kind of wring it out by stretching the handle out, and it kind of collapses all those arms and in theory wrings it out. It didn't work that great for me as far as wringing out actual functional liquid, but it's there. I mean, in the notion of going around and having that flexible portion on the edge, that is kind of neat. But again, I don't think it's worth $40 to replace a Swiffer or replace a dust mop you already have. And again, you're gonna still have the torque issues if you're trying to reach up to a ceiling to do crown molding or corners or something. If you're not tall enough, you're still gonna have issues getting enough to bear down and cover it up and really get the dusting and possibly scrubbing or removing of layered on dust down. So that's about it, guys. Thanks for watching. Enjoy looking at my feet mopping a floor, and I hope the review is helpful, and have a great day. Hit the like and subscribe button if you enjoyed the review, and leave a comment if you have any questions.